Good morning, everyone. My name is Leeward Bean. I figured that I'd get a joke by the end of the week anyway. This morning I have a great pleasure of introducing a young man that I met a couple of months ago. Tammy and Dave had me up to Gainesville to meet this young man. We were looking for a motivational speaker to come and talk to us. And Collin Austin is a graduate of the University of Florida. He started a company called Scooters for Less, and he is the COE, which is the chief of everything. So he has built quite a business for himself in Gainesville, and he has a lot of the similar philosophies that we do about customer service, and he does it in a unique manner. So at this point, please welcome Collin. Ron, can you see if he's out there?
That's not on. That's the
Tammy, Dave, did you see him this morning? All right, have you seen this one? All right. Well,
I thought I had like another 20 minutes, and thank goodness we didn't, because I would have been dead. Plugged in? Oh yes, here we are. We're good to go. Okay. So hi, I'm Collin. I am the COE, the chief of everything at New Scooters for Less in Gainesville, Florida. I tell people that I'm the COE and not the CEO because I feel like CEO is so executive. And as you can tell, I'm a very executive kind of guy, right? I probably have never worn a suit and tie in my life. That's just not who I am. I'm a very casual, laid-back kind of dude. And I'm so excited to have the honor to come speak to you guys today because it's a topic that I'm extremely passionate about. And hopefully you'll take some of it and apply it to your business and excel just a little bit more, right? Because that's why we're all here this week. So, before I do that, I just want to tell you a little story. About a month ago, my son, Schaefer, came up to me and was like, Dad, when are we going to put the lights on the house, right? Because it's Christmas time. I'm like, I really don't want to put the lights on the house because if I'm going to do it, I normally do it around Thanksgiving time, and it was already December 8th, and I'm like, I told my wife, I just really don't feel like doing it. Time's just flying by this year. Let's not do it. But of course, this is the one year that my 4-year-old son can speak in complete sentences and is like, Dad, we got to put the lights on the house. All the neighbors have their lights on the house. So we're going to put the lights on the house? Yes, son, let's go put the lights on the house. So we go outside, the entire family start getting all the Christmas decorations out. And my wife says, hey, just so you know, I have to take Schaefer to a birthday party in about an hour. Of course you do, because we're about to put the lights on the house. And I was like, you know what, actually that's better because I can just focus on what I have to do. I can get the lights on the house, and by the time you guys get back, I'll be done. I don't have to worry about the distraction of kids because everybody knows that kids slow you down, right? So I was like, just go do it. It'll be fine. My wife's like, yeah, but I really don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you want to do that? Well, what if you fell off the roof? What if I fell off the roof? Honey, I'm not going to fall off the roof. I've been doing this for the last 3 years. I'm not going to fall off the roof. So just go and get the kids out of my hair. She's like, okay, fine. So she loads up the kids, takes them, and I grab the ladder, and as I'm about to go to the side of the house and place the ladder on the side of the house, I'm just getting ready to climb up the ladder. I start climbing, and then I see the lawn guy pull into our cul-de-sac. And I'm like, great, the lawn guy's here just in case I fall off the roof, right? Of course, as I'm thinking this, I get to the top of the ladder, and I place my foot on the roof, and as soon as I do, guess what happens? I know, it's a big surprise, right? I fall off the roof. I fall straight down 8 feet. I'm on the ground just in so much pain, just tossing and turning. And of course, I was thinking, oh, I should yell at the lawn guy. But no, I don't want to be embarrassed. I just fell off the roof. So I'm like in pain. I'm like, oh, this cannot be happening. So of course I'm bleeding and everything. And so I toughen through it. I get the lights on the house, and then what do? I do what every human being does, right? I go inside and I put it on my Facebook status. So I fell off the roof today installing Christmas lights. And no, I wasn't hurt too bad, thankfully, just some scrapes and scratches, blah, blah, blah. I've installed lights on the roof the last 4 years. So what does that mean? 25% of the time I install lights, I fall off the roof. Hashtag learn from failures. Oh, that's fantastic. Of course, you can see I got 17 friends that I have to defriend later because they got a kick out of it. Hold on, I got this thing in my pocket. I got to get it out of here. This is my flask, just in case this entire presentation goes south. I just keep that on hand, you know. So of course, you know, I put this on my Facebook status, and then what happens? A couple days later, these people walk in with this T-shirt of a guy dangling from the roof in lights, and it says 75% success rate. All right, this is what I love about what you guys do. Okay, you can see a Facebook status. You can hear something on the radio. You can be like, hell, that would look great on a shirt. I'm going to go put that on a shirt and deliver it to that guy. All right, we call that the UCE, and that's why I'm here today. And I'm going to talk more about the UCE. And you don't know what the UCE is yet, but you will by the time this presentation is done. So thanks, Dave and Tammy, for the great shirt. And thanks to the 27 people who thought it was hilarious. I brought it with me today. I couldn't really decide which one to wear. But I thought I'd go with the Thug Life shirt, you know. So, anyway, moving right along. This is what it looks like when Big Frog shows up to my store. This was during Halloween, and they were actually bringing my Savage Race shirts. If you don't know what a Savage Race is, don't ever look it up and don't ever do it. It's a 7-mile race through mud and obstacles, and I do not recommend it. So let me just give you a little bit of feedback about myself so you're not like, who the heck is this kid here presenting to us today who acts like he's a big shot and really isn't? My name's Collin. I own this company called New Scooters for Less in Gainesville. And 10 years ago, I was this kid at a bus stop waiting for the bus. And the bus would, you know, as I'm sitting there waiting, I'd see the bus coming, and I'd get up off the bench, getting ready to get on the bus, and then this bus would drive right by me with these big words that said full bus across the top. And this happened over and over and over again to the point where I was like, God dang, somebody's got to do something about this, right? And then that's when the little light bulb goes off in your head, and you're like, well, maybe that person should be me. So I started a scooter company. We are 10 years old in March. When we started the company, you could park a scooter on campus for $30. Now it's $150 for the entire year. We have put about 400 scooters or more per year on the road, and it is a booming business in Gainesville. So this is my crazy team. There's actually 14 of us. The newbies did not make it on the slideshow presentation. But we are a crazy group of people. We have a very exciting and fun culture. And really quick, does anybody want to guess what the busiest time of year is for a scooter shop? Anybody? No, you all are wrong. It's August when school starts back, right? The University of Florida starts back in August. And so kids show up and it's really, really busy. My son here, Schaefer, the one that says big brother. So one thing I will never be asked to come and present to you guys on is timing, because I got the worst timing of any person I know. Because my son, Schaefer, was born on August 24th, 2009. Does anybody want to guess what day that was? First day of school. Do you want to guess what the busiest day of the year is for a scooter shop? The first day of school. Hashtag learn from failures. Has anybody seen that hashtag video of Justin Timberlake? I go around now going hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. So if I do that, I apologize in advance. Well, 4 years later, my wife and I are like, hey, let's have another child. So here's my little brother, my son Maddox, little brother to Schaefer. Does anybody want to guess when he was born? August. Does anybody want to guess what day? August 24th, 2013. These kids are exactly 4 years apart to the day. Okay? And yes, it was right in the middle of back to school week again. So I tell all of my, I tell people that's just God's way of playing a joke on me because he doesn't think I'm busy enough during August. And everybody else, all my friends think, yes, Collin has sex with his wife one time a year. And this is what pans out. So, all right, so let's move on past with this, but I just think it's kind of a funny story. So why am I here today? I'm here to present NS4L, core value number 1. NS4L stands for? New scooters for less. And our number 1 core value is to create and recreate the UCE, the ultimate customer experience. So how do we get to the UCE, the ultimate customer experience? I'm going to give you 3 easy steps. And this is what you have to do. 1, start with the basics. Customer service and presentation are a must. Make it fun and memorable. Okay, if you don't like it and your team doesn't like it, why do you think your customers are going to like it? It probably sucks, right? And 3, just go a little bit further. So let's start with the basics. Customer service. Oh my God, does this customer actually expect me to help her? Yes. When people walk through your door, they want to be greeted. You say, hello, hey, how are you doing today? Is there anything I can help you find? People come in, they want to spend money. So help them do it. We go places today, and we just expect mediocre customer service because that's just the standard. I walk into a place, and it's happened to all of us. We go out to dinner. We sit there for 5 or 10 minutes. We're like, where's our waiter? Is anybody going to wait on me today? And, that's just become the status quo in America today. Well, I've got news for you. If you offer good customer service or great customer service, then you're already 100 steps above every other business in the United States because that's just status quo today. So hopefully what I will share with you today will be like, gosh, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go just a little bit further and I'm going to offer great customer service and then our company is just going to explode. And that's what I want to happen for you guys. So, OMG, is this kid? I still call myself a kid. I'm 31 years old. I pretend I'm 21. So yes, I'm in denial about growing up, but is he actually coming here and speaking about other companies? Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to share some stories about new scooters for less, but there are so many other companies out there that I aspire to be like that are just incredible, and they deliver the most epic of experiences, and I'm going to share some of those with you guys today. Hashtag. When I say hashtag, you say boom. Hashtag. Boom. Hashtag. Boom. I've never done that before, but that's going in from now on. So this is my friend Johnny Cupcakes. Actually, he's not my friend at all. I've only met him one time at this conference. He's more like my man crush. But I met this kid at a conference, and he's got a very successful business. And what happened was, a long time ago, he was this kid in a rock band, like we all were, right? And his bandmates started making fun of him. Hey, Johnny Cupcakes, Johnny Cupcakes. They just gave him this nickname, Johnny Cupcakes. So instead of, trying to fight it off, what did he do? He embraced it. And he took this name, Johnny Cupcakes. He goes out to a Big Frog custom t-shirt business and gets a shirt made. I don't know if he did or not, but I'm just assuming that he did. But the point is, he went out and got one shirt made somewhere. And I just think it would be a perfect story if he went to you guys, right? So he goes and gets this t-shirt made, and then what happens? One of his friends is like, oh my God, dude, that is the coolest shirt. Where'd you get that shirt? He's like, well, I had it made. And they were like, well, where can I get one? It's like, Big Frog Custom Tees. No. He's like, I'll make you one. So he starts making a few shirts, and before long, he's selling all of these shirts out of the back of his car, and it's a beat-up car. Business continues to grow. He's making more shirts, and then he goes and he actually opens up his first t-shirt store. So what's epic about this t-shirt store is it looks like a bakery, all right, because it's Johnny Cupcakes. So the entire inside of this place has glass cabinets, glass refrigerator doors, and, it just looks like a bakery. On the outside, it says, freshly baked, no fat, no preservatives. And it's just a really, really cool store. And one of the things that's really neat about it is that they actually have this packaging, these muffin boxes and stuff. So what you do is you actually go in and you buy a t-shirt and they put it in this muffin box. And his mom's like, we could save hundreds of thousands of dollars if we just switch to the free UPS packaging. It's like, yeah, but we're not going to do that. Well, why wouldn't you do that? Well, because our boxes are cool. People will take them, they take them home, they open it up, they get their shirt out, and then what do? They end up keeping the box because it's so cool. So to him, it's worth that extra $100,000 of expense to have these really epic, I'm going to use that word a lot today, epic boxes. One of the other really cool things that they do is when they ship out a box to you, say you receive a box in the mail, you might get this random item inside your box. And I love this because when he told the story, he's like, we shipped a random baby doll's head in with this package. People receive it and they're like, I got my Johnny Cupcakes t-shirt today. Here's a picture of my shirt, and here's this random baby doll head. So what do? They, put it on Instagram, they hashtag or, tag Johnny Cupcakes, and it's instant advertising for him. Sorry, I'm going to have to get a drink of water really quick. I know I put it down here for that reason, because that frog suit is about to die in that. Starting to regret that decision. So one of the other really cool things that they do is they have these theme type days and their themed t-shirts. So you might actually go in and it's a breakfast themed shirt. Well, you have to buy that shirt before noon, because after noon, it's not breakfast anymore, so you can't buy the breakfast shirt. So it's just like completely random stuff, but it all goes into this experience. He'll tell you, you walk in there, the place smells like icing, but there's no food to be found. It's like people walk into the store expecting to see cupcakes. There's no cupcakes. He's like, we have the worst review sites, the worst reviews for every food site across America. So here's another picture of it, and look, they have the nutrition facts up on the wall. And one of the things to take away from this is not only is it a nice presentation and a really cool themed shop, but just take a look at how clean it is. This is important, guys. One of the things that I see all the time is I walk into stores and they're just dirty. How many of you have sat at a table in a restaurant and have just seen, somebody else's leftovers on there, I mean, it happens all the time. Like clean up, sweep, mop your floors. It's very, very simple stuff. At New Scooters for Less, this is just a couple pictures of our shop. I am really into big, bright colors. I love the graffiti. We have very fine lines within the shop. The scooter dealership has, all the wheels, all the steering columns are turned exactly the same way. There's never a helmet strap hanging out. They're always tucked in, and that kind of stuff. Just the presentation is extremely important. One of the things we have, this is our waiting area, and we had couches, and we're like, okay, couches are cool, but what would be even better? Well, what about bean bags? So we went out and got a bunch of these corduroy bean bags, which is actually another company in Gainesville. Has anybody seen them on Shark Tank? Corduroys? They were on Shark Tank, which is kind of cool. But it's just more us. It's fun, a lot of color, a lot of pop. And moving right along. So number 2, make it fun and memorable. One of the things that we always do, or we try to do, is with every scooter sale, we go outside and we take a picture with the customer on their brand new scooter, trying to make this experience even better for them. A lot of the time, we just go out and we grab extra people. So, for example, this is my friend Boris, and the one with his face chopped off, and he was actually just visiting. I'm like, dude, come on, come outside, like, get in the picture. So we get everybody in these pictures, and they always are obviously really, really crazy. But of course, they get bigger and bigger if we can get more of the team out there. I'm going to fly through these. You can see my Thug Life shirt on again. That's what happens when Big Frog is in the hood. So get the truck and Dave and Tammy in there. This is what happens during Halloween. We get unicorns that are going to tackle customers and everything else. This is the biggest picture today. We had an event, and we're like, hey, let's get everybody in the picture. And one of the really cool things to think about this is not only are we taking an awesome picture and getting the customer, giving that customer that ultimate experience, but, excuse me, I'm fumbling all over my words today. But look at all the faces that I get to tag on Facebook. That's another benefit, right? What's the biggest benefit is when these people, they go to our Facebook page, they download the photo, and they make it their own profile picture. And that's instant advertising for us. This is another Halloween picture. Really quick, I'm actually Buddy the Elf, but my team says that I look like a a very bad Peter Pan. I'm drinking the sriracha sauce. But theme days are a huge part of what we do. This was Hawaiian Friday. Does anybody want to guess what happens on Hawaiian Friday? Well, you can come in and you can get laid on Hawaiian Friday. Yeah, that goes really well with the college kids. Come to New Scooters for Less and get laid. So, but what we do, put a picture on Facebook. We say, hey, all of our fans vote, and everybody votes, and then whoever wins, I take them out to lunch and stuff. Ryan, which is this guy with the knot in his shirt, he actually won that time. I would not let him go out to lunch with the knot in his shirt. And one of the things I always tell companies to implement if you can, which everybody should be able to, is a culture committee. And this is something that we did last year, and it's paid off a lot. But once a month, it's completely voluntary, but once a month we get our entire team, or we say, hey, whoever can come to this culture committee, and let's sit around and let's just talk about how we can make the customer's experience better. Well, I'd say that 75% usually shows up, and one of the great ideas was, hey, why don't we get a helium tank? Let's fill up balloons, and inside the scooter, like these scooters have a seat compartment, right? So when you open the seat, this balloon can pop out. So we tie the balloon to the back rack, and when we open the seat, it pops out, and it's signed by the entire team saying thank you. So the first time they open it, that's what they receive. So these girls, for example, they got their new scooters. We delivered it to them, and they opened the seat, and they get this balloon signed by the entire team. And it's just a really, really cool little extra that we do. Me, I like to write core values on them. This core value number 3, don't believe the hype. This is an example of what we do right here. You're right, welcome to our crazy fam. I draw pictures of Elmo. Sometimes there's mustaches and other stuff on there. But it's just a really, really cool part of our culture and what we do for our customers. And the best thing to think about this is that all these amazing experiences get people talking, right? And people talking about great things creates what? A following. Well, this is a following that Johnny Cupcakes has. He's about to do some sort of new release, and he's got these huge lines outside of his store. Well, I would describe his following as a cult following. These people are in love with the brand. All right? I can't tell you enough, like so much the fact that they're tattooing the logo on their body. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely can't wait until New Scooters for Less is tattooed on the side of everybody's body. Like, right? Check out how cool that is. You want one of those, don't you? But what would be even more epic, right, would be if the big frog logo was tattooed on everybody. Right? Leeward, I'm invoicing you for that tattoo. Tattoo cost me $600. And it's on there permanently.
Is that going to fall under #learn from failure?
Very much so. So step number 3, go a little further. And this is my favorite part, okay? If you guys are offering great customer service, this is when it just goes above and beyond. You do this little extra, and that's when you're going to see a huge difference. One company who did this not too long ago is Rackspace Hosting, and it's a really cool story. Here's a guy who's on the phone with a customer, and it's like the longest recorded phone call in their history. It's like 8 hours. Who wants to be on the phone for 8 hours, right? This guy is on the phone helping this young lady with some sort of technical problem. And as they're having this conversation, she says, "Oh man, my stomach just growled. I'm getting hungry." Well, they proceed on with, what they're doing. And 20 minutes later, there's a ring at the door. She's like, "Hey, can you hold on one second? There's somebody at the door." So she's going to the door, and she opens the door, and a guy hands her a pizza and says, "Here you go, ma'am. Here's a pizza. It's already been paid for." And she told the guy on the phone, "Hey, there's a pizza." And he's like, "Yes, I know. I ordered it for you because you said you were hungry." Okay? Now, that's just going a little bit further. I can tell you that that $20 pizza has definitely paid for itself just in my presentations alone, because I actually heard it in another presentation from a friend of mine, and it's just an incredible story But just think about how much value has been in that pizza. And it was just from somebody paying attention, hearing a customer, and making that happen for them. Another example of a company that is amazing at this is Zappos. Who's heard of Zappos? Has anybody read the book, Delivering Happiness? It's an amazing book. If you have not read the book, Delivering Happiness, please read it. It's a story, it's an easy read, and you can finish it in a day, 2 days max. And it was the first book that I could not put down. I mean, it is that inspirational. And one of the really cool stories in it is about Tony Hsieh, the CEO, who was out with the CEO of Skechers. And they had been out late night drinking, probably at an open bar like last night. Woo. And 11 o'clock rolls around, they're in the hotel room, and they're trying to get room service, but room service is already closed. So, hey, I can't get room service. And, they're really, really hungry. They're like, what are we going to do? And Tony is like, just call Zappos. She's like, what? Just call Zappos. So she picks up the phone, and she calls Zappos, and she's like, yeah, let me tell you the story. We can't seem to find any food. Room service is closed. Can you help us? Now, the person at Zappos could have said, that's not my job. I'm not here to help you find pizza. Go call your operator or something, and it's not her job. But what she did was she said, hey, could you just hold on 1 second? CEO of Skechers was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Puts her on hold. Comes back a couple minutes later and is like, okay, ma'am, there's about 5 places within a couple minutes of you. Would you like the numbers? So she just went ahead and did it. Now, Zappos empowers their employees to do this kind of thing. There's no scripts. There's nothing like that. So the fact that she went above and beyond just to do that for the customer, was amazing. And I think there's a quote inside the book where the CEO of Skechers was like, I became a customer for life at that point. And of course, she probably got a pat on the back from Tony Hsieh, the CEO, when he got back to the call center. So this is a really, really neat story. Has anybody heard of this story, Morton's, the steakhouse? All right, there's this whole story involved with this, and it went kind of viral, and it's a very awesome story. And what happened was, here's a guy who's traveling, business traveler, and what do we all do when we're sitting inside the airport? We're on our smartphones, right? We're waiting to get on the plane, so we're like tweeting and doing that sort of thing. This guy tweets, saying where he's going and that sort of thing. He's like, man, I wish Morton's the steakhouse delivered to the airport. Well, he proceeds to get on his plane, and he's on his flight, and he arrives to his destination. Well, he gets to his destination, he goes to where the driver is. The driver's holding the sign, has his name, and right next to him is a guy in a tuxedo with a to-go box with a steak from Morton's Steakhouse. The guy's like floored, right? This is amazing. So what happened was somebody at corporate saw the tweet and went out of their way to make that happen, so when the guy arrived to the airport, there it was. Coolest part of the story is the guy grabs his phone, he gets the waiter, takes a picture, tweets the story. It goes viral in 48 hours, and 48 hours later, they're on the Today Show. Okay, talk about, or Good Morning America is one of those morning shows, but talk about a steak that paid for itself, right? I mean, $25 steak and a little bit of effort, they definitely got their value out of that. Did anybody see the WestJet Christmas Miracle over the holidays? Raise your hand if you saw it. Okay, a handful of you guys. Those that didn't, please go watch this video. It's called the WestJet Christmas Miracle. You can Google it. I was like, it'd probably be really cool to show it inside, at the presentation, but I was like, I don't want to be crying in front of you guys. And then worse yet, I definitely don't want you guys crying in front of me. So I was like, I'm not going to show the video. I'll tell them, just go Google it, WestJet Christmas Miracle. But I'm going to explain, what happened. So here's WestJet, which is an airline in Canada. To be honest, I'd never heard of them before I saw this presentation, or before I saw the viral video. But they basically put this present inside with this flat screen, and it says, scan your boarding pass here. So people would, when they got to the terminal and they're waiting to board the plane, they'd go up to the screen, they'd scan it. Well, obviously, when it scans it on the other side, it shows the name of the person from the boarding pass. Santa pops up, right? Santa's like, oh, hey, Michael, how are you doing? That's my best Santa voice. Hey, Michael, how are you doing? Good to see you again. And of course, mom and son's face all light up. And he's like, what are you hoping to get for Christmas? Oh, I'm hoping to get this train set. And mom and dad are like, I'm hoping to get a big screen TV. and all this sort of stuff. And everybody proceeds to tell Santa what they want for Christmas. Well, everybody boards the plane, and when they board the plane, WestJet starts hustling. They go out and they buy all of these Christmas presents. Everything that everybody requested, they buy. They're at the terminal, they wrap all the gifts, and all the people get to the carousel waiting to get their luggage, expecting to get their luggage, and then what happens? All of these presents start coming down the carousel with the passengers' names on them. All right, and these people start freaking out. They start opening the presents, and of course, what do they see? They find, the train set, and they find the big screen TV, and I mean, it was just the most amazing thing, and all of these people were in tears over this experience. You can see the kid up there. He's like, "Oh, I got my Android tablet." Yes. So, like I said, there's a couple things. A really cool thing that we had found out was WestJet got like $120 million in value of like advertising revenue from the virality of the video, which I thought was incredible. And the most important lesson to learn from this is that if you are in front of a WestJet flat screen, do not ever request socks and underwear. Because this guy, Santa's like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "I really need some socks and underwear." You're going to want a lot more than that. But this poor fool got his socks and underwear. So, and an important lesson to learn from all of this, of course, you can't have your employees go out and buy flat screen TVs for your customers, but, empower your team. Give them the freedom to go a little bit further. It was awesome that I got to kind of sit in last night and hear you guys talk, to the panel about empowering your team, because that is extremely important. Give them the freedom. Let them know that it's okay for them to make an effort to go that little extra step. And a lot of them are they're afraid that they can't cross a boundary. They don't want to upset you guys. Like, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should do this. Well, let me give you an example of what one of my employees did that just really impressed me. Shayna, who was our marketing manager at the time, she's now one of the general managers of my store, actually assisted a customer where this customer came in and said, and they got in conversation, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Good. Oh, today's my birthday." And she found out that it was a customer's birthday. Checked him in for service, did an oil change. We were basically just doing an oil change. She said, "Yeah, go ahead and take a seat, hang out with us, grab a cold drink, and as soon as your scooter's ready, I'll call you up and you'll be all set." Customer goes and relaxes. In the meantime, she runs across the street to Publix, buys a birthday card, brings it back, walks it to the entire team, has the entire team sign it, and then calls the customer up when the scooter's done and says, "Hey, Michael, come on up." I'm using the name Michael because I can't remember the name, but and it seems like a good name to use in the presentation, right? But come on up. Here's your, here's an oil change on us, and here's a birthday card. Have a fantastic birthday. Okay, now she used $1.50 of her own money to make that happen, and she just went out and did it. And it made the customer's day, and that was it. I mean, it was super, super simple. So empower your team. Let them do that kind of thing. Now, one of the cool things that has happened from this is we actually created a Visa gift card. We keep a Visa gift card inside our cash register now, and we call it the UCE card. What's UCE stand for? Correct. So we have the UCE card inside of the cash register, and it's just a $100 Visa gift card. And now they know that if an opportunity arises where they can make the customer's day like that, they can grab that card, they can run to Publix, buy a birthday card, buy a cupcake, buy whatever. One time it was raining, they went across the street and bought a poncho or something and gave it to the customer. And all they have to do is put the receipt inside of the envelope so that I know what it was used for. And that's it, it gives them that freedom. And they look for those opportunities now. They look for opportunities to go out of their way and just make that customer's day. So not so long ago, actually when I went out to lunch with Leeward and Dave and Tammy, we went to his awesome restaurant. This slide's kind of hard to see, but has anybody been to Four River Smokehouse? Not anybody. Well, it's an awesome barbecue restaurant. I think they have like 4 or 5 locations in the state of Florida. And I had taken my team there just a few weeks prior. And we were there just grabbing lunch. And the guy recognized me. He knew that I was the scooter guy. And he proceeds, and one of the cool things that they do is they take barbecue sauce and they write the 4R, which is their logo for Four Rivers. And they always do that on. You can see it actually underneath the ribs there. But the guy takes the barbecue sauce and he proceeds to write NS4L on there, specifically for me. And I was like, dude, that is so awesome. Like, that little thing that he did made my entire day. What did I do? What every human being does, right? I put it on Facebook. I put it on Facebook. You know, it gets 23 likes. It gets them a whole bunch of exposure. But ultimately, it just made my day. So much to the fact that I remembered it, and I was like, you know what? I want to reward my customers with it. So for the holidays, we went out and we bought $2,500 worth of gift cards to give to 100 random customers, 100 loyal customers. And this is exactly what happened to us. You know, we get shout-outs. Hey, shout-out to NS4L for a great dinner at Four Rivers and an even better job servicing my scooter. Hashtag. And finally, we don't make mistakes often, but when we do, Collin goes crazy. Not really. But we fixed it the right way. So one of the really cool things that we did, and we love the balloons, right? So here's a customer, and honestly, it was during that crazy time. I was probably having a baby on August 24th. And it was just a very busy time, and we missed this customer's appointment. We were supposed to deliver the scooter to her, and we just completely missed the appointment, and understandably, she was upset. So we took a balloon, and we put $20 inside of it, just like this here. Let me set this down for a second. So we put $20 inside of it, and I had the entire team just write a little note, and everybody wrote, "No, I'm so sorry for the miscommunication. Please forgive us. You know, we're going to work hard to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again." And when it was delivered, my general manager contacted our driver and said, "Hey, how did Julie like her balloon?" And this is what was said. For those that you can't read it, it says, "She was beyond impressed, cut me off as I was headed back to the truck just to say this is how every business should be run. I'll be there 2 more years and wouldn't think about taking my business anywhere else. People signed this just to apologize to me." Now, what's really, really cool about that is it wasn't about the $20 inside. It doesn't even say anything about the $20 inside. It actually says that everybody went out of their way to apologize to her. And that was what I thought was really, really cool about it. So just going a little bit extra, you know, just that little extra step can make a huge difference. One of the things, well, real quick, quiz, what was number 2 on my list? Does anybody remember? Of the 3 things. Make it fun and memorable. So you're going to get the apology balloon. There you go. And we call that the apology balloon because she's sorry that none of you got it. Well, don't get me wrong, when you're a college student, and of course she was beyond impressed with just the signatures and stuff, but I mean, you're a college student, you know, $20 is $20. So, and finally, this is just a quote that I really like, and you know, start where you are, use what you have and do what you can. You don't have to go out and buy a helium tank. You don't have to buy $2,500 of gift cards, and you certainly don't have to hand out big screen TVs. Now, if you're the kind of company that can, that's fantastic, and of course, it's really rewarding and a lot of fun. But you know, just write a thank you letter. You know, I can't tell you how far. I mean, we still do this, handwritten thank you notes to customers. What about just following up with a customer? You know, maybe they come into your store and they buy 5 custom shirts for an event this weekend. Call them up afterwards. Hey, I just wanted to see how that event went. You know, how did that go? You know, and then you can say, you know, if there's anything we can ever help with you in the future, please let us know. You know, we love that kind of stuff. So just go a little bit further, and again, you don't have to spend a lot of money to do it. And finally, connect with me. All right, I love connecting with other business people, other entrepreneurs. I love to hear your stories. You can follow my blog, entrepreneuriality.wordpress.com. I do other speaking engagements and have other speeches on communication and all sorts of different things, and it's just something that I love to do. So please connect with me. Just email me. Give me your feedback, everything else. And then hashtag. So thank you guys. And I don't know if we have time for a question session. Did anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
Tell me about how you built that culture.
How do we build that culture? Really, I mean, from the beginning, even early on in our business when we just had 4 people, you know, we started calling each other out on things. One of the things that we always just say, me and my general manager, you know, we always get pats on the back from customers because it was always about the customer service. We always just did whatever we could to make the customer happy. And, you know, customers would be like, hey, good job. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we would just say to each other, don't believe the hype, you know? And then a few years later when we sat down with our team, and there's 10 of us, we were like, let's write out some core values. What are our core values? I mean, it was instantaneously, don't believe the hype. That's a core value. And it just kind of naturally formed. But when we built everything around the customer experience and making the customer happy and just the superior customer service, everything else just formed right around that. And company culture is a very important thing. Yes, ma'am.
What are like the first 2 or 3 things you look at when you're interviewing prospective employees?
So I almost wanted to give you guys input on this last night because I was really excited about the conversation happening. One of the things that I do, I actually reach out to my customers first. Okay, we have a newsletter. I email the newsletter out and I say, New Scooters for Less is looking to hire. And we send it to customers first. Does anybody want to guess why I would send it to a customer first? Well, because they've gone through the experience, right? They've been on the other side. If they bought a scooter from me, then they've had the picture, they've had the customer service, they've had all of it. So they know exactly what we would expect. So we always look to hire our customers first and give them the opportunity to come in and work. One of the things that I do, because all of us are busy, we don't have time to sit down with 10 applicants. So I actually have a SurveyMonkey account. I created a little online application. A lot of the questions are culture-based and that sort of thing. And I just send it to everybody. And if somebody's really interested, they're going to answer the 10 questions, and I'll go through the 10 questions, pick the 3. Or if there's like 10 applicants, then I'll pick the 3 applicants that were the best, and then I'll bring them in for an interview. One of the really cool questions I like to ask is, what 5 questions do you want me to ask you? All right, I say, what 5 questions? And people will say, oh, what's your favorite Pokemon? And crazy stuff. And, I like those kind of questions because I think they're kind of creative. And as long as they're not all 5 jokes, it's fine. But they come in and I ask them those questions. I can't tell you how many people don't know the answers to their own questions. I have no idea. I guess because you're in the application, they want to sound all cool and professional. Well, if you're going to do that, then know the answers to your 5 questions because obviously I'm going to ask them, right? One of my best hires, this is what happened. I sent the applications and I was bringing in these two ladies to interview. I mixed the questions up. I asked the first interviewee the questions from the other girl. Okay, she answered them like this. All 5. I mean, she knew she acted like they were her questions. Well, then comes interviewee number 2. Comes in, sits down, I start asking her, obviously, the other girl's questions. She's like, oh my God, those are not my questions. And she could not answer them. So you can always mix up the questions because that works too. But I was like, oh great, well, it was nice meeting you, and sent her out the door. I called the first girl back immediately, hey, you're hired. And she's been an amazing hire. So, but that's one thing that I do to kind of weed it out because we don't have time to interview 10, 15 people. And starting with the customers isn't necessarily a bad thing because they've gone through the experience. They know what you do. They, all that kind of stuff. So are there any other questions? Cool. Well, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.